Hi there, welcome to the Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. My name is Kelty Anderson and I'm going to show you the bases when it comes to baseball in this province. You see, baseball has been a part of my life since before I was born. My grandpa, Dave Shurry, was a real heavy hitter, and it was his love and passion for the game that compelled him to found this organization back in 1983. But baseball is a part of all of our histories because it has long played an important role in the cultural and recreational life of people in this province. The Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame is dedicated to preserving and honoring that baseball heritage. So why don't you step up to the plate and let's learn a little bit more about it. When Dave Shurry founded the Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in 1983, it was the first of its kind in all of Canada. He knew firsthand the importance that baseball played in the community life of cities, towns, and villages throughout the province. The Saskatchewan Baseball Museum opened its doors in 1991. Since that time, it has collected and displayed a variety of historical artifacts that capture the essence of goodwill, tradition, and passion for the game of baseball. Looking around, we can get taken back to that heyday of baseball. Take a close look at the gloves, the balls, the trophies, and the uniforms that we have on display. Browse through the photo albums that document baseball in all corners of our province. Do you want to take a swing at when and where the first recorded baseball game was played in our province? If you guessed right here in Battleford, then you got it. Back before Saskatchewan was even a province, this game was played outside of Fort Battleford. But now I'd like to introduce my grandma, CEO and President of the Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame, Miss Jane Shurry.
Thank you, Kelty, and yes, I would love to tell you about that very first recorded baseball game in not only Saskatchewan, but the Northwest Territories. It was played here in Battleford on the grounds of the fort. There is now a plaque at that point commemorating that very famous first recorded baseball game. And it was a game between the Northwest Mounted Police and the townsfolk.
If you miss it on the way in, make sure to take a look at the mural on the outside west wall of this building which depicts that historical game.
You have to picture a ball diamond laid out in a field in the countryside. No bleachers to sit on, but plenty of land around the perimeter where the spectators gathered to watch the game. Baseball games provided outings where everyone in the community gathered in anticipation of the baseball game to begin. This was the biggest social event on the prairies where hospitality reigned. Almost every community in Saskatchewan, large or small, had a ball diamond, and everyone either played, coached, umpired, or was a spectator. Baseball is the game with roots planted deep in our prairie soil.
That sounds like it was a really great time for the sport. What was the next era for baseball in the province?
One of the next eras was called barnstorming. Barnstorming consisted of a team of Negro players that came up to Saskatchewan. They would pile into two cars, they would come to the community, they would find out who the baseball people were, they would go to them. They would then arrange for a competition the following evening. This not only provided entertainment with the game, and they were good players, but it also provided a cultural experience in that we held the Negro the same as ourselves, and not in a lower category as they certainly did at that time in the United States. The games then played consisted of players picked up in each little town or community that they would go to. And these are the players from Saskatchewan, many of them who played against these Negro teams and are now inducted into our Hall of Fame because of their contribution to our rich baseball history. One is, of course, Satchel Paige, who pitched against many of our inductees And yes, many stories are told about these barnstorming years, and specifically about Satchel Paige and the fact that, hey, I hit a two-bagger off Satchel Paige, and of course being very proud of that. And that was the beginning of the players in the USA to become part of the major leagues.
Since the beginning, there's been 379 individuals inducted, as well as 24 teams, 12 families, and 18 communities. The induction is held the third weekend in August and is always a real hit.
As you can see, baseball is a game with deep roots in our wonderful Saskatchewan prairie soil.
Thank you for taking the time to explore this important and joyful part of our sports heritage.
These are the boys that were born and raised in Saskatchewan and made the major leagues. Eldon Lefty Wilkie from Zealandia, inducted in 1985. Reggie Cleveland from Swift Current, inducted in 1986. Dave Pagan from Nipawin, inducted in 1987. Terry Poole from Melville, inducted in 1993. Edson Barr from Rollo, inducted in 1996. And Ralph Buxton from Weyburn, inducted in 2009. We are proud of these individuals, as well as every one of the more than 300 individuals that have since been inducted into our great Baseball Hall of Fame.
Through publications such as the Saskatchewan Historical Baseball Review and Wheat Province Diamonds, this organization has preserved in writing the history of baseball in Saskatchewan. For those of you keen on learning more, check out one of these books for all you could ever want to know about baseball in Saskatchewan.